What's up, guys? So today what we're going to be talking about is sleep. So I kind of had this conversation with a group of athletes the other day on the importance of sleep. So a couple things is one, it's not only about how many hours of sleep you get. So you could be getting 8 hours of sleep, but it's also the timing when you go to bed. It's also the quality you're going to bed. And you know what? We also need to kind of create a better sleep environment too. So a couple of things with sleep, as you probably heard, 8 hours. So we do need about 8 hours of sleep. Some people can get away with 7. Some people need up to as much as 9. So a couple things with that is from 7 to 9 hours. That's anyone's wheelhouse. If you can get consistently 7 to 9 hours of sleep, you're doing a pretty good job. So if we get less sleep, we tend to put on more weight. We don't have as much energy, and our body isn't going to be working as properly as it should. And then also, if you're sleeping more than 9 hours, you're going to be getting the same effects as someone who's sleeping less than that, right around that 6 hours. So again, we're trying to shoot for 7 to 9 hours of sleep. One of the big things, especially dealing with kids, is the timing they go to bed, right? So we were evolved to come up. We were supposed to wake up when the sun rises, and we were supposed to go to bed when the sun set. So, now in this day of age, we get a lot of kids who are going to bed, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then some of them are like, hey, I still slept till 11, but you're missing all of the day. So now all of the melatonin levels and these kids are all screwed up. So again, that's going to stunt for most of our kids trying to put on weight. So they're going to struggle with muscle gain. And then on the other side of it, you're also going to struggle with fat loss as well. It's a thing where, so if you sleep from 1 to 9, you might think you're actually getting 8 hours of sleep, but you're almost getting like closer to 4 or 5 quality hours of sleep, because when it hits midnight, the new day starts. So the sun's starting to come back up as soon as it hits midnight, which is going to mess with a lot of people's melatonin levels. So it's important that you try to set a bedtime. I know it's tough. Around 10, even like the latest 11 o'clock, we should be trying to get to bed before midnight. Every hour of sleep after midnight, it's really not a quality sleep anymore. So, I'll get kids be like, hey, I slept 8 hours. I slept from 4 to 12. Well, great. You missed the whole day. You didn't wake up when the sun was up. It's going to cause a lot of problems down the line. So it's important to try and set a bedtime, which is part of that routine we're talking about next. So the thing with sleep is our body likes regularity. So you can get away with, on a Saturday, every now and then being out till 2 or 3 in the morning, and your body might be able to rebound. That's if you also have a better schedule during the week and a better schedule those other days. You don't really want to try to make that a habit, especially if you're trying to improve performance, if you're trying to lose some weight, if you're trying to put on some muscle. Sleep's one of the biggest things that people take for granted. So start trying to create a better sleep environment. So to help do that, you want to try and set a bedtime or at least a wake time to try and get your body set in some sort of daily routine. Our body likes routine. So for me, I try to be in bed by, sometimes it's as early as 9 o'clock, but most times in bed by 10, hopefully sleep by 10:30. If I can get in bed sooner, great. There is times where it's a little bit later. And then try and set your bedtime to at least like 7-8 hours after that. Sorry, not your bedtime, your wake time, to 7-8 hours after that. For me personally, I try to wake up somewhere between 6 and 7. If I don't have to set an alarm clock, I try not to. I try to let my body naturally wake up. And that's usually around 6:30 because, like I said, I do get to bed between 10 and 10:30, so that's giving me a good 8 hours of sleep. What's also going to interfere with your quality of sleep is alcohol and caffeine consumption. If you're going to have like 1 or 2 drinks a night, try and keep those drinks at least 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. I know sometimes people think they fall asleep quickly after they're drinking. The one thing with that is you're not getting that deep quality sleep. You're not ever really getting into those good REM cycles. Same thing with caffeine. The golden rule is stop drinking any caffeinated beverages at 2 o'clock. So again, for most people, that's going to be about 8 hours before they go to bed. I know there's some people that caffeine doesn't affect them mentally where it still keeps them up all night, but physically your body's still kind of running. So you want to try to avoid the caffeine intake after 2 o'clock, because that's also going to affect of you getting good REM cycles, getting to that good deep sleep. Couple other things, you want to make sure that your next day you have everything kind of written out. You don't want to have all that stuff floating around your head of everything you have to do. It's called just go do a quick brain dump. Get everything, spend 5 minutes, write everything that you might have to do tomorrow, the grocery shopping, write down your grocery list, write down what you have to do at work. Try to get that all down on pen and paper so it's clear, it's out of your head, and now you don't have to worry about that. Same thing as a cluttered mind. We need to try to keep our room as clean as possible as well. A cluttered mind is going to kind of distract us. Even though physically you can look at your dirty floor, everything's still kind of cluttered. It's still going to affect your sleep patterns. Next thing is we want to make sure that we're keeping our room at a good temperature. So right now we're heading into the summer, so try to turn those ACs on a little bit, make sure a fan's kind of running, open the windows, do whatever you got to do. A general sweet spot is 68 to 72 degrees. Depends on the type of person. Some people, if you run colder, that you can obviously up it a little bit, but you got to find the right temperature for you. We shouldn't be sweating while we sleep. We also shouldn't be shivering while we sleep. Again, you might not wake up from it, but it is affecting your body's sleeping state, all right? Next thing is try not to hit the alarm clock 17 times. Once you're up, you should try and just put your feet on the ground and start walking around and moving. I know it's hard to get out of bed because you're so tired, but as soon as you wake up, everything starts to flow a little better. 2 things that are also going to help you once you wake up, they're going to help you keep you awake throughout the day, is you want to try and get some natural sunlight as soon as possible, really within like 10, 15 minutes of waking up. Just step outside for 5 minutes. Obviously, during the winter time, that could be a little tough, but at least look out the window, try and get in your skin, your mind, your body in some sort of contact with daylight as quickly as possible to try and get those melatonin levels going. If your melatonin levels are all messed up, you're going to feel groggy as the day progresses, and then it's going to be harder for you to go to sleep at night as well. Also, try and have some water as soon as you wake up. I know sometimes we're tired. First thing we do is reach for the coffee. You're dehydrated from your 6, 7, 8, 9 hours of sleep. We have to make sure that we're giving our body the water it needs. We're giving our body the minerals it needs. If you want to even enhance your water, you can put some lemon and some Himalayan sea salt in there too. So you're giving yourself the vitamins and minerals on top of hydrating yourself as well. So try to avoid coffee as the first thing you do when you wake up. Try and have at least a 8 to 16 ounce glass of water before you wake up. If you're not even doing that, the first thing you're doing is grabbing a cup of coffee, then please just try and take a sip of water before you do that. Start getting in the habit of water being the first thing you have. One thing I didn't touch on is electronics. We should try and get away from the phones, get away from the TV at least an hour before we go to bed. Again, that's hard for some people, but if we can get ourselves away from the blue light as much as possible, it's going to enhance our sleep. All right, that's just a couple things that you can start doing to enhance your sleep. I think the biggest thing is trying to get to bed before midnight, so you're getting more of a quality sleep, because every hour after midnight really turns into you're losing an hour. So if you're going to bed, again, if you're sleeping from 12 to 8, that's 8 hours, but you know what, that's really closer to like 4 or 5 hours of good quality sleep. But try and get to bed a little bit earlier, and try to realize that sleep is one of the most critical factors. It's going to help you handle stress better. It's going to help your body rebuild itself better. So you might be stuck in a rut where you're killing it in the gym, your nutrition's on point, and everything's not going somewhere. Take a look at your sleep, all right? So one thing I'm going to ask you guys to do is go ahead and start a sleep log of what time you went to bed, what time you woke up, and then even include in there how many times you woke up throughout the night. So if you're going to bed at 10, you wake up at 6, you're getting 8 hours, but you woke up 4 times throughout the night. That's not good either. And then, so in your sleep log, go ahead and keep what time you went to bed, what time you got into bed, what time you think you might have fallen asleep, and what time you woke up, and if you can remember how many, and then also write down how many times you went to bed at night. How many times you guys woke up at night, sorry. Work on those couple things, try and take all this stuff into account, and just try to improve your sleep a little bit. It's going to improve your day-to-day. It's going to improve your gym. It's going to improve your nutrition. It's going to improve your overall health. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.